From the home of the problem solvers and the on-your-side investigators, this is the #1 rated KATU News at 6.
From the on-your-side investigators, no one likes getting caught by those red light cameras around town, but most of us would assume the system is designed to take those photos and it does it accurately.
One Beaverton man says that's not true. He believes they're not doing right by drivers. He came to KATU with the science he says proves it. On-your-side investigator Bob Heye is live in Beaverton. And Bob, you looked at his work. Is he right about this?
He is, Steve, and even the cities know it. When it comes to these cameras, we're talking about a margin of error in the hundredths of a second. But when you're coming at an intersection like this at 30 miles an hour, that little bit of time difference can cost you hundreds of dollars.
Beaverton's hardest working traffic cops, a quartet parked at intersections around the city, have handed out more than 25,000 tickets since 2001. But you'll never get their badge numbers because they're not even human.
I don't mind these cameras. It's just that they need to be implemented properly.
Matt Jarlstrom is an electronics engineer. He's on a crusade to prove these cameras are unfairly ticketing drivers. It started last spring when this camera at Allen and Lombard snapped his wife running a red light. She got a $260 ticket. Jarlstrom says she shouldn't have.
She ran the red light with 12 hundredths of a second. And that's a very, very short time. And when I measured errors with my cameras to be about 15 hundredths of a second, that error was greater than my wife's timestamp.
What Jarlstrom is saying is Beaverton's red light camera timing isn't always the same, and he's right. The length of the yellow light and the amount of time you have to stop can vary from minute to minute, and the city knows it.
You can't have a measuring device that has these errors that are greater than you're trying to measure. It's just common sense.
So you may be thinking to yourself, 15 hundredths of a second, no big deal, right? Well, it can be a big deal when you think of it like this. Let's say this is an intersection, and that line is where you're supposed to stop. If your car ends up here, when the red light sensor goes off, no ticket. But if it goes off that 15 hundredths of a second earlier, your car is caught 7 feet earlier. Red light ticket. Same speed, same traffic signal. The only variable between ticket and no ticket, red light camera equipment itself.
Mr. Jarlstrom, you're up.
Here's Jarlstrom taking his case before Beaverton City Council last week for the 12th time.
Every intersection is different.
So far, no changes to the system. But that doesn't mean the city hasn't been listening. The Public Works Director and the City Attorney released a memo to the City Council last year saying timing errors don't matter because the yellow lights in Beaverton still run longer than legally required. The memo continues, reasonable minds may differ on the optimal duration of the yellow change interval at any particular intersection, but no yellow change interval at any intersection in Beaverton appears to fall outside recommended standards. Even Jarlstrom admits legally Beaverton is covered, but just because it's legal doesn't make it right. He thinks Beaverton's lights and cameras should run more like the ones found in Virginia Beach.
In the fairness of our program, it's very similar to a baseball analogy where the tie goes to the runner. We're not trying to issue penalties or issue violations for people who are right on the edge of almost making the light.
Virginia Beach's intersections have the same timing errors Beaverton's do, but they use longer yellow lights. Virginia's red camera law also mandates a half-second grace period for drivers, even if you're caught on camera running a red light. Virginia Beach police say that helps make it fair for drivers who may get caught by timing errors.
It gives benefit to the drivers who are caught in an area where they can't quite stop and they can't quite make it through, so that those people aren't getting violations for running a red light.
I wanted to know if Virginia Beach is on the right track, so I started looking into safety at their intersections and at ours. Beaverton reports that since 2001, crashes at intersections with cameras are down 6%. In Virginia Beach, they're down nearly 12% since 2009. Jarlstrom says Beaverton needs to pay more attention to that, and drivers need to hold the city to a higher standard.
Drivers are not treated equally under the law. And again, we have a constitutional right to be treated equally.
Beaverton has issued over $6 million worth of tickets since 2001. Portland has also had red light cameras at 11 intersections, but they could not get us any data on how long they set their lights in time for them to take pictures. Since the city of Beaverton hasn't taken any action to change the system, Yarlson says he has talked to an attorney now, and they may take court action and find a current red light camera case to take this all the way up the court system to challenge it in court. Live in Beaverton, Bob Heye, KATU News.
Well, he certainly brought this issue to them. Bob, thank you.